Hi there, you're watching the Gardens and Graveyard channel. My name is Charisma, and today we are going to take a walk around the front garden. This will probably be the last segmented garden tour that we do for the year, because after this, pretty much all of the garden starts to go to sleep. The front yard still goes pretty strong for another month or so, but the backyard is pretty much done, and the lower garden is, we're going to cut back the hostas before too long, and then that'll be pretty much done. And then the medicine garden will be harvested and cut back, and that'll be done. So we'll see how the month of September goes, but we'll probably go back to only 1 or 2 tours of our personal garden each month, but we have more gardens, public gardens, that we'll be bringing to you over the coming weeks. So remember, on Sundays I do garden tours, so make sure you're subscribed and you get notified every time I post a new video, which is almost every single day. Let's get this turned around. Let's get the camera turned around, and I will show you what is blooming on the Oregon coast in a Zone 9A at the beginning of September. All right, starting in our usual spot, we could see our jasmine is in full bloom. So fun, and it smells so good. I love that it's right next to my driveway, and the first thing I do is I walk by here and I get hit with the beautiful perfume of the jasmine. Moving down a little bit, our laurel petalum is struggling a little. I think it had a little transplant shock, so we've been really keeping up on the water. It's already starting to turn its fall colors and begin to lose its leaves. So if we can just make her happy enough to survive through the winter, next year I know she'll do amazing. This rose is ready to burst open again. All kinds of tiny buds all over it, but just really not open right now. This one's a spent bloom. I still have a little table of things that are going to go out by the creek, which hopefully we'll get around to that in shortly, because it's fall and time to plant trees, so that's exciting. Or it's about to be fall anyway. Across the way we have the Privet Grove. The Pearly Everlasting is still blooming. It's been a good month. You could see some pollinators on there. And get a good picture of him or her, I don't know. The hostas are pretty much done. You can see they're ready to get cut back and go to sleep for winter. That's kind of it. This hosta is a little bit more protected, still looking better. And this one, I really like how this one has this really dark yellow margin, and then it ages to this creamy white. It's kind of a fun feature on that one. This is the mouse ears. It's like a little guy. All right, so I'll just keep going around here. I have lots of dahlias up, but not blooming yet, and I have some blooming. So there's 2 different varieties of dahlias in this pot, and they're like bunching up like they're going to maybe bloom, but they're a really good size. Last year, slugs got to them so bad they didn't even size up and have any leaves. So it's promising that I might get some blooms in the next couple of weeks. The asters will probably pop open this next time we get like some heat. We've had overcast days for the past several days, a little bit of rain. So that's really close. You can see some color on there. I think it just needs a little bit of heat to pop open. We still have 1 lily left. Everybody else is pretty much done. The daylilies are done. I need to come back and cut them. Okay, let's scan over here. Still loving this pop of Dusty Miller. It really gives some interest in the garden this time when there's kind of a lull. We do have some roses in bloom right here. I know we've showed this rose many times this year, but I just love it with the white underneath and the velvety red and then the dark yellow throat in there. Super fun. The climbing roses did pretty well this year. Lots of roses still coming on. We've got catmint still in bloom. Some roses here, more roses. Look at all these roses. Oh my goodness. There's just so many ready to pop open. And got a yellow rose trying to open here. The little miniature roses have been consistently putting out 1 or 2 blossoms. And then I have this huge pot full of dahlias as well. These were extra dahlia tubers that they got kind of mixed up. And so I put all the tags in here because I know these are the varieties that I had in that box. I just don't know which one is which. So I put them all in here. And I'm hoping they will bloom for me so I can determine which one is which and divide them and, you know, put them out in the garden or give them away accordingly. So I do have a few buds, and I'm hopeful I have a few more in these pots. Dahlias in general just don't really love the pots, in my experience. Not full-size dahlias anyways. We have the proven winners, Super Tunia White. They didn't do that fantastic in this location, whereas the Super Tunia Mini Vista White did a lot better, and they're just across the way from each other. So I will definitely try Mini Vistas again next year, maybe in the ground, maybe in slightly different locations, because I do hope that my Iberis or Candy Tuft does kind of fill in this spot. But I really did like having the white blooms along the walkway, so I'll play with a little variation of that next year. I'm going to just start here and walk my way back, and then we'll walk back down for the dahlias. Right here I have Jenna. And is this Jenna? No, this is Gay Princess. Beautiful, fun, sweet flower with pink with a yellow center. I have a Mary Mums right here. It's a little guy, and she hasn't put out any blooms. I have a Brandy Dawn here that's struggling in too much shade. This one is hiding underneath my maple tree, and at least it got a little height on it. I don't know if it's going to give me any blooms though. Eventually this maple maybe will be taller. They have Lady Liberty, which has been blooming for a couple of months. This is a spent bloom. I have another one coming on here and another one coming on here. But we've had and 2 more right here. We've had quite the show from her this year. I'm really thrilled about that. This one is Gets Crazy. Yeah, Gets Crazy. And it is a little bit of a later bloom on it, so probably mid-September. And then I have Envy, which is an absolute gorgeous one that just opened up a couple of days ago. And we have Poodle Skirt, which is a different, you know, shape with the kind of a pom-pom and the petals that fold down like an echinacea. And that is another Gay Princess. And this is a Marin, or Marin, I don't know how they say it. M-A-A-R-N. I bought it in honor of my best friend, whose name is Marin. It's pretty close to her name, but she spells it completely different. Anyway, really fun, kind of corally with it's like a sunset-y kind of color. And I really love these ones that have that texture. It's like pom-pom texture. Over here I have Lights Out. It has not bloomed yet. And then I do have a Jenna and I'm a Hottie back here that got totally eaten by slugs. We've got this big giant lily that is done blooming. It got 5 feet tall this year, which is so fun because that's one variety that got transplanted from the backyard raised bed. So I wasn't sure if it would bloom for me or not because went through a little bit of trauma. As you can see, the hydrangea is looking gorgeous in various shades of old and new blooms. Our rose campion is pretty much done blooming. You can see a little bit of pink here and there. Lots and lots of seed heads. If you barely touch that thing, it explodes with seeds right now. I don't know if you could hear all those raining, but yeah. They spread nice and easy for me. So I'm going to pop out of here, walk around the corner. We've got Black-Eyed Susans in full bloom. Next year, I want another batch over here so my entryway has a matching kind of feel. The balloon flowers are in bloom. They're really fun little flowers. And then they come out looking like this, like a balloon, which is why they're called balloon flowers. Aren't they kind of fun? And then this will slowly crack open like you see here, and eventually will fully open like this. Like we've got the dragonberry, which I need to deadhead. It is just absolutely gorgeous. It's so happy this year. It's just full of blooms, which is so fun to see. And it's spread a little bit, which is really fun. The other ones did not really, this one didn't come up. That one struggled for a long time and got eaten. And this one is really small. This is Ahoy Matey. Does have what looks like maybe a bloom coming on, so we'll see if I get a really short. But the Ahoy Matey is a yellow and it's big. It's like a 5-incher, so I don't know if that's gonna hold a 5-inch dahlia, but anyway, all right, out here, let's see if the Rose of Sharon is doing anything. It's a little bit protected. It was being very crowded with the Rose Campion. I kept bunch back, and then we've got the Barberry here. This thing is completely loaded with buds though. I might end up, I have so many buds coming on so many things, I might end up doing a middle of the month garden tour just to show you all the new late bloomers that come just before fall. The pots are doing great. They look really nice. Peachy King Verbena and the, what is this, Sun Gold or something, Osteospermum. And then I've got a Heuchera. The Juniper put on tons of growth this year. The Euonymus looks good. The Veronica's done. This pot is pretty much seeing the end of its days, but it's still, you know. These are both perennials for me, so if I just deadhead them and put them out somewhere, I should probably be okay. Same with the begonia there. These super bells will come out at the end of the season. Over here, same with this, more Osteospermum. Does have a lot of new buds on it though, so maybe I'll get another flush before the end of the season. Again, pots are looking pretty good. The Hebes all did great this year. There's extra growth on all of them, or new growth on all of them. The cherry tree is looking beautiful. We recently cut back our eucalyptus, and it's already put on some new growth, so it kind of like softened the hard prune that happened. There's a couple of new exciting things over in this section. Mr. Lincoln finally bloomed, which I'm thrilled about. It is the most gorgeous rose. I mean, this dark, dark maroon fading to this hot pink magenta color. And they're huge. Look at this. And they're beautiful, long, long, strong stems. They'd be very good in a cut flower vase. They smell divine. You just walk by this area and it perfumes the whole air around it. It's just, it's lovely. We have a yellow crocosmia, which is fun because I have orange and red in my garden, and it's fun to have a different color. The chocolate cosmos are still blooming, looking great. The seedlings, I don't know if they're gonna bloom, but they're here, so we'll see. The asters popped open not too long ago. Nice bright patch of color in a shade garden, which is really fun. Kind of surprised us that those open before the ones at the driveway, since they get a lot less sun. Just across the walk here, there's another patch right here, also completely loaded with buds, but also not open or blooming. This is the last gladiola with any little bit of color on it. Seen better days, but there she is. The red crocosmia, the Crocosmia lucifer, is done blooming. I'm leaving these here to wait for the seed heads to dry, and then I will use them in dried flower arrangements. Moving in here, the goat's beard has been blooming since the last tour, still hanging on to its blossoms. But up in the staghorn sumac, we've got these gorgeous cones forming. And there are more cones on here this year than we have ever had. And they are so, so fun. They're so soft. Oh, they're beautiful. And if you remember, this plant puts on the most spectacular fall color show. I can't wait. I can't wait. But it's not quite time yet. So let's keep going. This barberry put on quite a bit of growth this year, which is cool. And we've got this Rose of Sharon, which lots of new growth, but not any blooms. I really feel like I need to move her. It doesn't seem to me that it gets less shade than the other one, but it just doesn't bloom here. It always puts on growth. So I don't know. I don't understand really. All right, we're gonna keep going up here. The Vertigo Pentacetum did put on quite a bit of growth this summer, but it did not get 8 feet tall. But these guys, and this is the other one, which clearly got bigger and has a lot more purple red in it, and it definitely gets more sun because the other one's kind of blocked by this pampas. These are perennials here in the Oregon coast in a zone 9A. So I expect to leave them in the ground and they'll come back next year stronger and bigger and more amazing. Of course, I've got to get the ivy and morning glory out away from it all in this area again. It's a constant struggle in this space. And let's see over here. This is probably the last time we take a look at these Supertunias, and they did fantastic all summer long. Really fun pop of color to have out here on the edge of the property. We'll definitely be doing something similar next year. If you remember, that was a mix that I got from Godfrey's, and it was Supertunia Bubblegum, Supertunia Jazzberry, and Supertunia Silverberry. This is one of my favorite views of my garden. I just love this overall vista of the entire thing. And I have no idea why, but it reminds me of Disneyland. So maybe there's some like little pocket of Disneyland that's full of flowers and plants that I cannot remember where, but somehow it reminds me of it. And it certainly feels like Disneyland for me because my garden is every bit as much fun as Disneyland for me to enjoy. I don't know if it's that much fun for everyone, but it is for me. The Vermillionaire is loaded with blooms, super fun. I've never grown this plant before, so it's been kind of fun to watch grow, and it got a lot bigger than I thought it was going to. It just sat there for a long time, but there she goes. And then this is Celosia that is it Celosia? No, it's Amaranth that I grew from seed, which I also didn't think that I was gonna get anything from. These are supposed to really be like 12 inches long. So I really don't think that's gonna happen, but I'm impressed that they even grew because they like a lot of heat as far as I know. I guess I can mention my porch pots because again, these may be something that goes away before our next tour as well. Really love these ones. I will probably choose this variety next year as well, because next year my plan, I don't have a tag in there. My plan is to do all yellow and pink. So the honey won't, it's close, but it won't make the cut next year. We might plant it somewhere else because we do love this multi-color. Look, this is one plant in this container, and it has all these different colors. This bright, or like this is a super bright yellow, and then it ages to this kind of dark yellow with pink edges, and then it gets this like more golden color, and then it deepens with more coral colors, and then it ends up getting really kind of like a soft pink color. Really fun, really fun. This one struggled with thrips all summer long. It's still struggling. You can see how the blooms just don't fully open. They just don't quite make it full open. They try, but they just don't quite get there. And I've been treating it with this dead bug, Captain Jack's dead bug brew, but it's still kind of struggling. And then of course we've got another one of these in the baskets, and they're just so pretty and so much fun. I recently cut this one back so it's not looking as fantastic, but it's fine. And then since we're up here, I know I recently did a medicine garden tour, but this is the view from my front deck of the medicine garden. So it starts with the Artemisia and goes around this way to the chamomile. It's really fun, beautiful. And you can see my clematis is almost tall enough to reach the deck. Just kind of a cool thing. So I hope that you enjoyed walking around the garden with me today. It's always such a pleasure and so much fun to take a walk, and I love sharing my garden with all of you. So I hope that you're celebrating your life and that you have a fantastic Labor Day weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.